That's all that matters. And, you know, maybe AM BAISEUR have the upper edge here. Either way, it looks like we're getting started with Gullywash right away. These players are keen, they're on time, they want to play. You know that these guys aren't in Prem because they actually started within 5 minutes of the default time. That's crazy.
Yeah, these guys are never going to make it to the top. Like, they're way too punctual. That's
well, let's see how this first mid is gonna go underway, as they're both already here fighting it away as well. Nobody's died yet, but there's a little bit of peek and prod, and soldiers from Southside Gaming are making their way forward onto the enemy side, and Jamal immediately gets a huge little bomb there. 2 players down already, including the heals for AM BAISEUR as well. It's only War and Samsky left, and both of them have opted to leave already. Well, Samsky does manage to catch out a single soldier there, and War tries to run in, can't quite get anything done either, though. You know, it's ambitious, but at the end of the day, unfortunately, he doesn't hit the pipes he needs to. So, a 1 mid for Southside Gaming.
Yeah, and they're all tagged up as also known as Bud. I love it. It's, Milky gets another cheeky kill there onto Samsky. He was roaming around, eventually gets taken down. Che is gonna play the classic sniper in Riverside. There's a medic uber advantage here coming up for Theo, so now they've chosen to go through the Riverside, and oh, they're actually kind of lucky that the sniper decided to go the other way there. But yeah, they're taking their sweet time. They're being very, very slow. They even have a pyro on there, like Mankey. I think they're waiting for him, but because they're waiting for him, they're gonna not really have much of an Uber at here.
Yeah, the Uber is actually going to come up on Seb right now. He's going to have it to defend the point here, and they got a little bit of cap time on it already, but finally they're going to pressure these people off, and mainly it's just Mankey, really. Everybody else has already been pushed away. That Uber
Pyro in the water now, though.
Decent job. He's still down there. He's still alive. He's going to try to run out of river, and does get cut off eventually by Nico, so he does get found, and he's getting dealt with. It's only Milky and Theos. Both of them are going to have to run for their lives here. Milky just being a little slow to leave, but still going to get out anyway, meet up with the rest of the team on mid again. And you're going to have Baschi being able to, you know, just barely cap off second here.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate there for Mankey that, you know, he played the strongest class in the game on Pyro, but unfortunately there was a Pyro on the other team as well. And that way meant he couldn't really get onto the point. Even though it was actually like a pretty bad pop coming out of Sebastian. Like, he didn't need to pop that early, I don't think. I think they could have milked it quite a bit more than they did. But either way, we're going to be stuck in a roughly even Uber situation. If Theos gets too close to the choke, maybe he's going to get bombed on. But yeah, you can see he realizes right now. And see how far back he just went now. And have the double soldier spam in choke means that it's going to be very difficult to get through without popping. And it's actually going to be enough to just ward off any push coming out here on the side of War's team. So they're going to be sitting back, just spamming choke, getting War's DPM up, and now it's just a matter of, well, what are they going to do now?
Yeah, someone's got to break this stalemate eventually if you want to take around you. You know, it hasn't happened yet. There's a bit of an offense here by Southside, making an effort into Big Door, but they're still getting stunted ever so slightly. There's just enough position to stop them from really going too far forward. They're going to send in Mankey into lower, and he's just going to actually run behind. Nobody has spotted him whatsoever. He's up river now with nobody any wiser whatsoever. He's going to meet Samsky in lobby, go for the 1v1, and absolutely get melted. So there was an effort. There was a conceded effort on the flank there. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out. And now they're down a player, and they're probably going to have to deal with a sack out of the other side.
Yeah, I wonder if Samsky knew about the scout or if he just thought that maybe there was a possibility. Either way, he was in a really good position to deal with the scout coming in for some sort of backstab. Usually what you'd see teams do is that they're going to send in a soldier or something like that, and then the scout runs in at the same time, and it's a very effective double bomb because you have to look in 2 different directions to kind of deny it. And looks like Samsky's just going to hold in that same spot again. And actually, Che's going to go on sniper. He's sick of standing still. You might see a soldier bomb come in here, but no, not quite. Surny's going to just slowly play it out here and just do some spamming as Nico actually goes down. And
yeah, it effectively trades out for Jamal on the other side, and you have Mankey sniping as well for Southside here. Went sniper after that little scout sack. Does lose the duel against Che. Now with 2 players down for Southside, they're going to be having to be a little bit more careful on mid here. Maybe even want to go for the early exchange if they can get the force out, maybe. They're going to be playing pretty forward on point. Jamal has spawned again as well, so they might be willing to take this fight. They're still not giving it up, and they're actually going to use the Uber first. Sebastian, obviously in no danger to use whatsoever. Nobody's been dropped out of his team either, so never mind. Surny just drops him? I don't even know how that happened.
He popped out of the drop down and just...
Drop down, unbelievable.
Yeah. Very fitting name for it right there. That was just nuts. Nobody saw that one coming. They're going to collapse on them here in choke. This actually turned into an extremely weird fight as Milky is going to take down Nico coming out of the drop down again. Takes down Che as well. Sebastian is going to be the only one alive. I think Milky wants to chase him down, but he's not going to get there in time at all. So that is the only thing really going for them there, is the fact that their medic kind of got out and didn't have to die again. But
Yeah,
what a weird situation.
It's a very weird situation. Your medic drops and then it devolves into the weirdest fight, and somehow you still end up with an ad at the end of it, even if you've lost second, just because your medic spawned sooner. Yeah, your medic spawned sooner because he died sooner. So you're still gonna have a slight ad on the hold here. It's not gonna be much to write home about, and they're still gonna have to set up a nice little hold here. You got Oz now on the sniper. Instead, Che is opted to just build a sentry gun and try to mount a bit of a defense here as War gets chased out of river as well. They're really gonna have to sit on last now. There's nothing they can do. They just have to hold on to this, have to make sure it works. Mankey's in on water already. Behind the point, he's gonna step on it as well, get a lot of cap time, and nobody's gonna block it. The medic is the only one to jump down onto the point to try and block it. Almost dies for his trouble as well. Just barely lives. Does get his Uber up now.
Though. He actually blocked it in time. If he hadn't done it, they would have just lost the round. So Sebastian, he saving the round, but it's crazy that he had to do that. I feel like he probably was just yelling at people to get down there, but nobody could get there in time. That's crazy. Like, they knew the scout was down there as well, right? Like surely they knew. War was getting pushed out of the riverside, so he must have had an eye on it and looked at the scout running past. That seems crazy to me, that could get that close. But they're not going to take a chance anymore now. They're going to put an Osvaldo heavy down on the point now to make sure that nobody can just, like, I don't know, unpop it. It's actually being an Uber with a pyro, but it's getting stuffed pretty heavily here.
Yet again, Mankey on the pyro. He does try to go water, but gets stuffed out immediately.
Oh, that's drop again.
And doesn't even matter. Swinny gets another drop onto Sebastian. This guy's got his number right now. That's the second drop in like 5 minutes for Seb. He's not having a good time at all. Meanwhile, though, everybody else has life. Theos is the only one alive. He's out just running away. He gets chased down by both soldiers. They're going to clean that kill up as well. So, all things considered, still not as much of a disaster as it could have been. Mankey trying to go around big door, realizes there's 5 people going to point. There's not going to be any chance for a back cap. He's just going to back up, meet up with his team as they have capped off second on the side of BAISEUR. Now trying to maybe get into mid as well. They have a sizable advantage, and at least positioning-wise, they've already got the people in as well. Nico gets a nice little air shot onto Mankey, but doesn't get the kill. It's ultimately going to be killed by a scout. War bombs in as well, just trying to do as much damage to these people, and Choke all bunched up. He's doing quite a lot. Bit of follow-up by Samsky as well. They're just pressuring these people out at this point. Even if they
on Milky. That's
don't get
all
the kills.
He had. Yeah.
Oh.
That is rough. He probably should have been dead then. They're going to rotate into Victor. They're going to put on some more pressure. You can see everyone else is trying to get out. They know Sebastian has an Uber ad. They might even go into lower lobby, maybe try to cut them off in Riverside. This is very interesting. Fuse is on 80%. Oh, actually just gets killed by the Samsky bomb. Never mind. And now the Uber comes in from behind. Kind of overkill at this point, but as long as Sebastian can just survive, this is a great push coming in here. It's very rare that you actually see a team get to cut off the other one like this with the Ubrad. Mostly teams are pretty good at just holding back, making sure they don't get down. And even have a soldier on the point right now. Sweden's not going to be able to get there in time. Demo Man going to do a little better. Basher, aka Jamal. That was close, 3K, but it was after the bell had rung.
Jamal, a great 3K. Unfortunately, just a couple of frames too late once the cap has already happened. But I guess it's still something to put in, you know, to put in your cap. Either way, first
doesn't
round's
even
gonna
go in the
away.
logs, man. What's the point?
Ah, man. Yeah, you can take a clip of it. I don't know. It's gonna be funny. Anyway, first round going the way of BAISEUR. As we're headed into our second bit now, they're trying to take it forward. Maybe make another little play happen here right away. Take the momentum and whatnot. Jamal's gonna be the first to fall, but he does trade it out for War, which is a pretty good first trade to have here. But they lose Theos on the side of Southside. Now if they can keep Seb alive on the other team, that's going to be very, very huge because they're going to be able to play around those heals, and 3 people down on Southside already doesn't certainly help. That's 3 down on the other side as well, though. Still kind of even here, and you got a little bit more damage out of Southside, but they're also very weak. It's going to depend on how they play
Scout's going to run onto the medic now. I think it's Mankey in behind. Ooh, gets a lot of damage onto Sebastian, but not able to get him in time. Very unfortunate there. You know, it's always a very precarious situation when you have like it's a 3-3, but you have a medic, like you're obviously in a better position, but you have to play it very carefully because they have much more damage output than you have. They have like 30% more, right? That's kind of how it works. So you have to be very careful, and they made it out of that one. So Sebastian is going to be awarded with a big fat Uber. It's going to be pretty difficult to actually push in on time, but looks like they are making headway. Scout just ran off the point. Okay, this is not helping the case though. You want the point to be fully capped before you go in, but yeah, Theo's going to have it in time. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, they're going to bomb in anyway and try to make as much use of it as they can. Obviously, the counter Uber comes to the side of south side, and they're going to just block whatever little cap time and point pressure there is. Get a heavy up on Salty as well. He's just going to lay down the pain on anybody. Still, Samsky manages to slip in and kill Theos anyway, just making sure that his medic stays at that little bit of ad that they've got here. So they're going to be able to carry that on, even if they have to lose second for it. They're going to be able to certainly easily try and retake it with that Uber ad. War actually being very aggressive as well, just trying to do some damage, you know, make sure that these players aren't all that healthy headed into this fight. They don't have heals yet. Theo's just now spawning, making his way forward with the rest of the team, and these remaining stragglers are already being pressured out as well. Soldiers just barely living. JMaxchill gets taken down. There's a huge big bomb by Sweeney in, has to settle on Oz at the end of the day, gets one rocket onto Seb as well, but it's not going to be enough, and there's no follow-up either.
Bit too disjointed on that pressure on second at this point. It was a decent amount of damage, but there was just zero follow-up. Nobody really committed there, and I think maybe they just tried to get Sebastian to pop or something like that, but they didn't quite succeed, and now they're going to have this full Ubrad coming in onto last, getting that heavy off of them very quickly, going to put pressure onto the point. Them man is very weak in water. They're just going to stand on it 2-0 very quickly, very clean. That's a good round there, certainly.
That's a clean conversion of that last push. They didn't even have to kill that many people, just pressured them all back. The heavy, while healthy and while tanky, can't get to the point in time because he's slow as molasses, and that's all it takes for a nice little quick second round. They seem to be gaining some momentum on the side of BAISEUR here. If they can keep this going forward, this could very well be a quick end to Gullywash. Let's see if that is going to be the case. Is Sweeney already going up the drop down, at least trying to, as the trade happens on the blue side here. It's a back and forth, 2 picks on either side so far, so it's still kind of equal, but positioning is so much better for south side. They have all this ground. There's a single soldier in Samsky that manages to jump through, but Theos is just ever so slightly evading him, manages to live as well, narrowly avoiding the rockets. Warno trying to clean that up, but he just can't all by himself. Jamal bombs in as well, trying to salvage anything, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you've already lost the mid, but at the very least, you've kept your mid alive, and yeah, that's already a lot better.
Yeah, Theos did a lot of good dodging there. He went down to about 30 HP, and there was like demos and soldiers shooting at him, so it was very close to time. They're gonna push him through this choke. There's still a soldier on the high ground. They haven't dealt with him yet. Sweeney's just able to stand up there, do a ton of damage, put on a ton of pressure, but eventually he is gonna go down. And now all of a sudden, the medic is just kind of stuck here. Theos with a single scout on the high ground. It's going to be very difficult for them to actually stop the soldier from coming in here, but Nico gets denied. The Uber pop comes out from Sebastian, and this is not a good Uber. The counter pop comes in from Theos. They're going to give full-on chase. See if War can actually do something to protect his medic. He's going to try and protect him by going the opposite direction. Kind of works out.
Yeah, Seb somehow gets out with 15 HP. War hides below, doesn't really end up doing much with his life, but you know, bought a little bit of time, and there's enough aggression by Samsky to crater Theos just all by himself. A little bit of peppering by the scouts to help out, and that's all it took. He's going to be able to kill the medic, and just like that, suddenly, even if you're down 2 players, BAISEUR find themselves in yet again a nice situation here. This is going to be a very sizable ad, at least 30, if not 40% even, for Seb, and they're going to be rolling this into
the
mid.
air pipe from Milky. Why would you ever jump Milky with half health? Like, you know that Milky's going to hit those. And now all of a sudden, Nico, because he was so aggressive, they're going to be kind of a player down. It's going to be a lot easier to get Sebastian picked off here when they push in onto this mid fight. So they're not going to eventually able to clutch it out here. Just slowly push in, get everyone away. But they kind of endangered the whole push there because of the aggression coming out from Nico. So they're going to move all the way into second now. The Uber advantage is about to kick in, to the point where they actually have the Uber, but Theos, he's just going to hold last. And once again, I don't think they're quite going to be able to get there in time. Maybe they're going to try the dot push, but I doubt it, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you just gotta make do with the fact that this is an equal Uber situation. Samsky bombs in early, actually gets a bunch of nice rockets and damage onto Theos there, but Theos does have the balls to not pop. Very confident in his team being able to take down that soldier, and it does pay off. Che, also a little overextended, does walk into a little sticky trap, so Now BAISEUR, 2 players down. They won't be able to push, at least not for the next few seconds, that's for sure. They're actually gonna have to be on the back foot, making sure they don't lose another player here. War being that player they lose, and actually, there's a force. Just like that, Jamal slips through as well, manages to get the force onto Sebastiani, and that's all she wrote, really. Now they're not gonna be able to push at all.
Yeah, and okay, that was very optimistic by Nico. I think he was expecting the engineers to switch off the scout so that they could push out, but not quite yet. Jay's gonna go on sniper, see if he can maybe get a cheeky pick because we do expect Theos to come out here with the rest of his team. He's gonna go up top. Jay is not in a position to really get him, but they probably have to pop around the corner if they want to be really safe. Soda's gonna be in the sky, but pressure everyone out. Now they don't need to pop. Theos can actually get out here.
Oh, but Samski's hiding. Nobody's seen him. He finally comes up from behind the rock and gets spotted as the people are just not close enough. Nobody's in his range, but that was a very interesting hiding spot. Nobody spotted him for so long. He could have been very dangerous there as well. Obviously, they found him. Obviously, nothing happened. And now the Ubers have equalized yet again. So, BAISEUR, once they get Samski back here as well, they'll actually be able to hold decently aggressively, maybe even try to go for an exchange.
The scout
onto the second.
Drop down. So he's completely caught in here.
Oh my god. Never mind that. A manky flank has been shut down instantaneously. Che hitting a nice little shot there, just taking care of that problem. The rat has been eliminated, and now you gotta, well, you know, make some room for your sniper here, make him go forward. Obviously, if you're self-side, you want to play around that, right? You don't want to give them any sightlines, or at the very least, don't peek them all that much. And they're playing decently around that so far. Nobody's even daring to walk into big door right now. They don't want to have, they can't handle the smoke right now. They really don't want to.
I like this play coming out from War's team. The way they play in big door with the sniper means that you could run someone in through lobby at any time. They don't know if a scout went in there, right? And that just that doubt could actually do something. Samson is going to get caught out here. Milky actually rotated around and actually does get someone here. Nico's going to come in. Maybe he'll get the demo man as well. No. Oh my god. Nice air shot onto him. Actually helps him get away. Soda wants him more. He knows he's weak, but Basher gets a bit too keen there, trying to chase down the frag, and he's going to end up going down as well. Che did die for it though, so it's just an even 1-to-1 trade coming out here.
Is Mankey playing spy right now? Like, he walked all along just lower on mid without ever getting spotted at all for like a solid 15 seconds. Nobody saw him. He never got an angle to actually shoot at anybody. Now he's just gonna kill War just like that. Just 2 little shots to the face, that's all it takes. And now you're down to demo.
Oh, we've got
down on the other side.
Oh,
look at that. Yeah, it's probably not going to be enough though. There's already a 4x on the cap on mid, and there's so much pressure on it as well. They're trying to block it. The Uber gets popped as well. Sebastian, he doesn't have to pop yet, but he's already dropped a couple of players.
They do get it.
Well, actually only one. And yeah, they managed to get the cap as well. Because of the Uber, not any progress was made on mid, and just like that, it's a big little turnaround. Uber popped on Knots just for the logs, really. But at least Sweetie's buying some time.
Not quite for the log. Okay, they do get some backup there. But if the backup has to come in time, it's going to be pretty difficult for one scout to kill all of that, you know, because he was just reloading. But yeah, quite the play there. Mankey just, you know, acting like he belongs. I don't know if you've ever seen that subreddit, Act Like You Belong, where people just like walk into places just with no credentials or anything. That's kind of what Mankey was doing there. And then at some point he just plus forwarded War, or sorry, plus forwarded Milky and got him down. Very fast bomb on Nico though, just take down Theos.
Unbelievable. What a great start to the mid as well. No heals for Southside, only 2 scouts left in there. They can be a little dangerous here. They've proven themselves to be a little dangerous, but surely you just play around the heals here. You keep your medic safe, and yep, that's both of them taken care of just like that. A very dominant mid performance by BAISEUR. Just a beautiful wipe. They're going to be rolling that stuff into second immediately. And actually, they're already pressuring last. Speaking of, well, okay, they've backed out to lobby. They've realized there's too many spawners. Let's take this slow. We have a full ad. You know, you don't have to overextend yourself just yet. You can wait. You can get your ad.
Listen, sir.
Wait for
there's a
everybody to be
2% chance you can spawn camp. Go for it. All right, that's a rule of.
You can still do it with the Uber, and that's what they're going to be doing right now. They're taking it in there, actually catching out Mankey as well, who was trying to snipe and be cheeky. Ultimately, not much comes of it, but that's the only frag they've gotten. Nobody else has died. They've pressured people to spawn, but there's almost no cap time. There's still sticks on the point as well. Milky just holding down the point from behind, and well, so far he's doing an okay job. He's very low. He finally gets cleaned up. There's still 2 players alive, though, Salty and Theos. Maybe they can make something happen here. Mankey does spawn as well. Nope, it's not enough. That's a 4-0.
Yeah, pretty great push there. Che eventually just takes one for the team and just dives onto the stickies. Once those were cleared, the demo man didn't really last long. And once the demo man was dead, they could just pile onto the point and just clean up everyone else that was struggling to get out of spawn. So a really good push. It didn't look very clean, but it was actually really well executed there. So great play. You know, sometimes the suiciding dumb scout is actually the real hero.
Well, another huge bomb in by Nico this time around, but he doesn't quite get the final rocket he needs onto Theo, so for now he's gonna live. They trade out for Salty. Instead, Samsky gets taken down as well. Milky gets traded out on the side of Southside. It's a back and forth for frags so far, but crucially, at the very least, the medics are both still alive. And it looks like BAISEUR have opted to run away. They might get cut off. Oz is doing his best to try and hold off Mankey here. And he's actually just staying in with his medic as well. Nico's there. They get back up and they're just like, yeah, all right. We're confident here, and Mankey's decided, I cannot fight this. I have beefed too many shots, so they're going to be opting to just fight this on second instead. Both medics have their Ubers. Both of them would rather not use it, but if they have to, if they're forced, they might have to. And dropping Nico there, a bold choice, really, but Sebastian, he seems very confident in not wanting to use, not wanting to take his team in, waiting for the rest to maybe arrive. They manage to find Sweeney on the other side, but then they get dropped!
Oh,
just like that. So much damage up into River. That's all it takes.
Yeah, it really seems to me like War's team has been by far the dominant team this round or this map. But then every once in a while, Sebastian will drop and it kind of turns around. So this is kind of where we're at once again. This time around, though, it's actually going to cost them the round. Nice job there from Salty. Hits all his shots, gets on the point, and that's going to be that. 4-1. There's a small glimmer of hope. You know, obviously we are in
coming up.
Yeah. We're in this new season where the rule set has been changed. So once you reach 5, it's over. So you gotta be real good, man. You can't lose another round.
Yeah, you gotta just like clean up 4 more rounds in a row. No big deal, right? It's just that easy. Let's see if they can continue this momentum on Southside. They've already lost Milky very early into the mid. It's the first player to go down. Nobody else has even really done anything. He just gets nuked down by the scouts. There goes Sweeney as well, trying to be cheeky behind, going up drop down. Nothing's gonna happen with that. And just off the back of those 2 frags, Southside decide, yeah, let's get out of here. Let's, you know, salvage what we have. Try and hold second, maybe. And obviously, BAISEUR are gonna keep rolling up this momentum. Just keep rolling forward. They lose Samsky up top, but it's gonna be the only thing so far. Let's see how this fight evolves after that. Nico doing some nice damage on the combo. So low, everybody. Jamal gets taken down. Mankey's gonna have to run out with Theos as well. And nobody else is in a position to contest. They've capped off second just like that for free. And they don't even have Uber yet. Sebastian, he's just now getting it. Theo's got it so much sooner.
Mankey just plus 4
okay.
Nico.
Yeah, drops Nico out of that, and actually, it's gonna force the Uber out of Sebastian. He only got a single scout to use it on, and it's gonna be a bit better for Theos, but it's not gonna be able to do all that much. I mean, they've got Samsky and War in behind. Samsky's just on Spy.
Yeah, they're not gonna spot him out because he is invisible. And I don't think they've expected this at all.
No.
So this is actually where we need to keep our eyes on.
This is gonna be it. There's nobody behind to even try and contest him. There's a single soldier, and Sweeney can't even get there in time. Just like that, the Spy backcap secures them the map.
A very strong performance here from War's team. What was it?
Yeah.
BAISEUR something? AM BAISEUR.
AM BAISEUR.
BAISEUR. All right.
Pseudo-French, because I'm pretty sure that's probably not a real word, nor that there is even a single French person on the team. Actually, no, there is Che. And Osvaldo. Never mind. Okay, but you know.
Yeah, apart from
it's the thought that counts.
Yeah. Like, apart from the point where you were wrong, it was actually correct.
Apart from the fact that a third of the team is French, there's no French people on the team.
Exactly. They're not real French.
Anyway, let's look at some numbers, right? That's the fun part. Let's look at some of these logs. I mean, it's a one-sided map, and the stats are going to reflect that. But I do find it funny how Sebastian did drop 3 times, and 2 of those were within 1 round, within like 3 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was like in the first round. They kind of looked like they were struggling quite a bit, but as soon as he didn't drop, they just very quickly overwhelmed Southside Gaming and won those I don't know, 4 rounds in a row. So, you know, I think the prescription is pretty clear for the next map, right? Just don't drop any Ubers.
I mean, that's the thing, though. I'm pretty sure next map is going to be Southside's pick. So, maybe they just suck at Gullywash, right? Could very well be. It could be a weak map. You know, it's the opposite of Sill. You just suck on Gullywash instead. And now they're going into Metalworks, which is their pick, and maybe they're like way better on it. They've like, been strategizing and all that stuff, and they're gonna just wipe the floor, and we're gonna have a full series of 3 here. Or they're just gonna get rolled because of momentum and tilt and all that stuff. It's hard to predict the mental stuff, right, when it comes to gaming. But
yeah, people react
never know.
so differently to hardship. And also just sometimes you just kind of have to accept that you had a bad map and you just need to move on. And also sometimes the winning team will get cocky and overconfident and they'll actually start making a bunch of easily exploitable mistakes. So that's worth keeping in mind as well. They could get sloppy. And this is a war team, so you know they're probably like at least 10% trolling at all times.
This is true. That there's definitely a possibility for that. That being said, these gamers are keen. They're heading to Metalworks pretty much straight away. Maybe they just want to get this over with and start pugging or something. I don't know. They want to get the season over with. They've overstayed their welcome. Yeah, play the real game instead of the last official or whatever. But yeah, I mean Metalworks. We haven't seen it much recently because it's not like they played it in Prem. And I don't know about any other divs. I feel like Metalworks is still, you've been playing it for like a couple of years now, but it's still not the tried and true like veteranated map in Europe, right? Like it's only been played for like maybe like 5-6 seasons now. I don't quite remember. Compared to like some of the other stuff people are way more familiar with, like Gully or whatever. It's still a bit of an odd one out.
Yeah, it's been played a lot more in Ozfortress and ESEA and obviously IGL after that. So it's been around in those regions for a lot longer than ETF2L. Like they started at the same time, but then ETF2L had a long period where we didn't have it. And honestly, it's probably my least favorite map in the pool by quite a big margin. I don't
less than product. Because I know everybody hates product.
Yeah, I mean, from a spectator point of view, I definitely hate Metalworks more than product. Product is fun to watch. I don't like playing product so much.
Fair enough.
But I will say, like the pro version has fixed a lot of stuff because it used to be that everywhere was just a rocket bug spot. Whereas that's not really the case anymore. But
yeah,
so that's helped a lot with my enjoyment of it because it kind of just felt like you were fighting the map instead of the opponents half the time. But yeah, Metalworks here. It has a very fun mid, I think. Like we're gonna see a lot of soldiers going very high into the skybox. You can do some very cheesy fast rollouts. Demoman can do a lot by just locking down the right chokes if you can figure out where they're coming from. And obviously both soldiers and scout actually have quite a lot to do on this mid as well. So I like the mid, I'll give it that. It's more like all the big lobbies that I don't like.
You don't like indoor areas, which is fair, I suppose.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because Gullywash has a lot of indoor areas as well. And I like Gullywash, it's just that they're very like long and big on Metalworks, whereas in Gullywash they're relatively short and they're just like very minor connecting areas, whereas on Metalworks they're kind of like big and they limit you a lot in what you can do. But either way, I'm not going to complain about this map more than I need to. We are here. We're here to watch some good old TF2.
Yeah, we're not playing it, so like we don't have to worry about it. We can watch these people play it instead and have them complain or whatever, I suppose. I mean, I doubt the team that picked the map would complain. But we'll see if that is going to be all it takes for them to find their way back into the series, or if this is going to be a quick final for AM BAISEUR. They're up a map already. They're headed into Metalworks now, which is Southside Gaming's pick. So there is a chance that they can come back here. If they're so confident on Metalworks and they're so insanely good on it, this could very well go on. It's going to be in their court. They're going to have to make something happen as we're headed into our first mid here.
Milky quite a lot faster than
a lot faster than his counterpart here into this mid fight. The rest of the team's getting there as well. A lot of ground to take by BAISEUR very quickly. They had a lot more time to do that on the side of Southside, but they opted to just take the same exact round on the other side, and they're gonna drop their first player, basically trade him out for war, which is an optimal trade, you would say. Probably a lot better. They're just gonna have to make something happen with it. They find Nico as well, so they're slowly but surely just prying their way in. Samsy's on the flank though, nobody's seeing him. He just waddles in, gets juggled up into the skybox and killed by Sweeney eventually. And that's gonna be enough, I guess, to force War's team just to back out and make what they can happen here. Because actually, Diaz gets his Uber. Sebastian, he couldn't get it in time, and they're just gonna use it to clean up that combo.
Medigun as well. Look at Theo's
Oh my God.
percentage. That's disgusting. He's on 80%. It's very rare to see it because the Medigun, it drains so fast when it's on the ground, but he picked it up immediately. Really heads up play. They're gonna have a full Uber ad going into last, despite using their Uber to kill the medic. That is great play from Theo's.
Unbelievable. This is gonna be such an easy round to convert. It's gonna be Southside's like last push to lose here. They've got every advantage you could possibly think of in the book. Almost no time either for the defenders to really set up here.
But is he gonna get there in time? No.
Yeah, that's the problem. The Uber's already out. They're already into the Sentry as well. That's all they found so far. There's a headshot out as well onto somebody. It doesn't really matter though, because they gotta fight the frags, and they've already lost 3 on their side, including the heals. They gotta block this point somehow. War is not gonna do that because he's in spawn getting health. Nico is also low. That's a quick first round. Maybe this is indeed the comeback.
I mean, if you want to make a statement and say that you are actually in this on the second map, they did just that. That was incredibly clean. Very heads-up play by Theos. And just in general, a very, very good mid overall. Milky does the quick skip jump, or like the double sticky jump in spawn, or out of spawn. So he's very, very quick. So you can see he's just faster than War.
Wow.
Yeah. It's so
just
good.
cuts him off completely. Does so much damage. War's gonna have to be really careful before he finally gets healed up, and that's gonna like give Southside so much ground as well. They deal with the bomb from Nico. They're gonna be able to slowly, finally maybe take some ground. It turns out that even though, you know, War was so slow and really trying to do much shutting out, they still got knocked back so much by the soldier. Samsky tries to go in as well and doesn't really do anything. So ultimately, it's gonna be BAISEUR running out, but so much aggression out of Southside already as well. They want to continue this fight. They don't want it to end whatsoever. No time given, no time taken. They're just gonna cap mid and keep going. Both soldiers bombing onto the point here. War is just like kind of caught on his own. Gets cleaned up as well as you know, the rest of the combo.
He went down at 99% Uber. That is heartbreaking. Nick was gonna jump the medic here. Hasn't got the pop yet. Actually gonna get taken down there. Theo's just shining in this game so far. Incredibly well played by him. And just heartbreaking to see Sebastian. I can't believe he didn't get his Uber there. He must have not really built properly. But like, also
I think everybody he was healing just died. Like, he got disconnected from his team. Everybody else just died, and then he gets caught out by the bomb and couldn't quite finish the heals. So unfortunately, yeah, they're gonna be down a full Uber now. They're gonna try to hold last yet again in a very similar situation to last round.
Yeah,
there's
a bit more setup right now. This sentry gun is gonna be level 3. There's a sniper as well. The heals are better. But overall, yes, this is another Uber ad push. They're going to go in through this right side. Ooh. But Surny gets taken down. He was peeking at the same time. That's going to be a nice little pick here. But Samsky has been taken down. The sentry gun has been cleaned out. And everyone right now is stuck in there. Look at Jamal. Going to run into a fully spun up heavy. And not going to be quite enough here. Milky, once again, not going to be able to get out here. There's no way. Like, he's 18 HP. Oh, he got an arrow.
He got arrowed, but ultimately he still can't win the 1v1 against Che, and that's gonna be sealing the deal here. Southside is already left. They're already back to, well, effectively mid at this point, as second gets capped off. Sebastian still has that 50% ad, you know, sitting on it. Kind of wanting to, maybe it's burning a bit of a hole in his buck. Maybe he wants to use it. Swinny chilling up on the vent. Above choke. Nobody's looked up at all. He's just gonna drop down. He's gonna run into the combo. He's gonna get cleaned up though. He will not get the crucial damage. Sebastian, well aware of the danger that could wait for him as he entered that hallway and very far back, does not even take damage. And they're just gonna keep rolling it forward. The Ubers have equalized, but they've gained so much ground just off the back of that play. 2 entire points, basically for free. Now you gotta fight for it. Now you gotta do an Uber exchange. You're actually gonna use it first, just to try and get in aggressively. Obviously, it's a bit better for Southside here. Theo's popping way later, but he's got really nobody to fight at all. There's a bit of a scrambling fight.
Again.
It's all over the place now. Jesus, and yeah, just off the back of that, really, Sebastian dying to the trap. War does sneak. Haas somehow gets onto the combo. Can't hit the lock and load pipes though. And that's the last conceded effort onto the combo. A full wipe out of the team of BAISEUR.
Whenever they try to do these very proactive pushes, it just seems to not work out. There's a small sticky trap on the spawn here. I think everyone's just going to be caught in. Nobody wants to actually risk it. They didn't see how many stickies he put down, so just going to be us just feeding some damage to the enemy team, giving them some good logs. But they're going to switch back to last, try and see if they can set it up there. There's probably not going to be enough time to set up the sentry gun, but hey, Osvaldo, he's going to try. Can't take that away from him. Theo's on 90%. And they're just about to come barreling in here and maybe make it 2-0.
Yeah, this could very well be another great attempt at pushing last here. They're going to Uber in immediately across the bridge, trying to take it as deep as they can. Ward just gets picked off immediately. A surgical removal of that demo man from the last soldier. Samsky taken care of as well, so 2 players down for the defenders. Nobody can even get to the point. There's so much pressure on it. And there you go. Second round going the way of Southside on Metalworks.
Yeah, that sentry gun didn't do anything, man. It was still alive when the round got reset. It's just, if you try to build a sentry gun with that much pressure on you, it's very often not going to work. And once again, man, Milky is so weak here, so he must have jumped a lot. Yeah, he did. So
he's an aggressive jumper, and again, he's way faster to mid. He gets a nice little sticky onto Ward there as well, and he's gonna get the kill. Yeah, he's actually dominating him as well as Nico goes for a high bomb onto the other side here. Gets one rocket onto Theos, but can't clean it up as Milky gets the pipe. Finally, Samsky cleans up that damage. Theos can surf for his life, but he will not be able to escape this constant aggression as Sebastian is just run away with Oz. They're all the way out to last, but they're gonna have a full Uber. The Korean contest here as these Southside gaming players are kind of like wondering where everybody's gone and just like, I guess we'll cap second, nobody's here. Oh, there's a little bit of aggression now. Okay, we've just got stickies on the door. Surely, okay, they'll clear them. Okay, I guess I'll just run away now. Okay, yeah, there you go. They've stabilized. Now it would be very advisable for BAISEUR to actually make some use of this Uber ad before Sebastian inevitably drops again.
Yeah, that's kind of been the staple of this so far. And Surny's gonna be once again hiding up on the vent. This time he's been spotted. There's no way Sebastian is gonna fall for this. Yeah. He just gets cleaned up. Very simple. I almost feel like Surny should have just jumped out as soon as the scout looked up and spotted him. Just, skedaddle, get out of there. Theos has actually kited this quite well though, so he's gonna be able to get his Uber in time. But they are still a player down, so this could still go wrong if they don't push it right.
Ooh, Nico in deep onto the combo. Gets a nice first rocket onto Theos. Manages to force him off as well as he just gets completely disconnected from the rest of his team as well, deep into lobby. A beautiful bomb, just well done by Nico. And that's going to be so crucial here for BAISEUR. Now they're a player down, but they have a full Uber. If they really have to use it here just to get in, they might. Sebastian not going to pop even with some aggression by the soldier. They're just going to let War do his own thing on the point. He's just going to walk forward and they kind of just cap the point almost entirely by himself. Milky overextended as well, gets cleaned up. Surely this is such an easy push here for BAISEUR. They still have a Surny behind to deal with, but he's so far back. So much cap time on the last one already. There's finally some blocking. There's the Uber that comes out as well to keep these players alive. He even takes it off the scout just to finish.
Back. Don't want to just concede the map immediately, and I like that. It's obviously much more entertaining for us if we can get this. And it's kind of interesting to see. Like, Metalworks is probably one of the least interesting rollouts, and basically what Milky right now is doing is the absolute fastest that's possible without side of like doing some double sticky bomb through the wrong way or something with the sticky jumper. But if you do it, you have to do a lot of damage in return, and so far he's been doing it.
Yeah, he's that damage dealing machine. Even on the last map, he did top damage the server, and that's kind of what he does. He just manages to deal a lot of damage, and when this team is there to follow it up, it's been working well. Just as it is right now, they've already cleaned up 2 players. They've lost Mankey on their side. They've lost Theos as well, though. So now it's crumbling for Southside. They're going to be able to maybe try and get something done, but they only really find Nico in the end here. And Milky is still in. 1v1ing War at this point. Finally meets Shay as well, who's just gonna effectively make him suicide. And just like that, the one mid has finally gone, for once, the way of BAISEUR.
Yeah, they're slowly clawing their way back into this and just being able to take things down. What the... Major League... Oh, what is that?
An in-game notification, just like completely flabbergasting Peter as
what is
distracting
Major League gaming thing? I've never heard of. It's not RGL, is it?
It is. I think it is supposed to be, but no, actually, it's something else. Yeah, there's some other like tournament thing going on as well. I don't know. Anyway, as it turns out, while we were just like flabbergasted by what's going on, there's an Uber push into last, and it was kind of like a bad Uber because they haven't really done much with it, and now they're dropping players in the tail end of it. finally, maybe they're finding a couple of kills. They got Milky at the very least. They've only got War and Sebastian left, and War is completely left to his own devices against the scout that he can't possibly defend himself against. So just like that, that's a botched last push and a free second retake for Southside.
Well, luckily for them, though, Sebastian, he was able to get out of there with his life. So he's going to be at a with this ad, but not one that you can't hold on to. They're probably going to end up losing mid, and then maybe you can try and send in a soldier to try and get the pop out, and then you just retreat and you can hold on to second with an Uber. So this is a pretty comfortable situation overall. Here comes the big soda bomb of Nico, not going to really get in there for it. Che tried to snipe from spawn, didn't really see anything. He's just going to spawn back, and there you go. Sebastian, he's going to be on second point with the full Uber. Unless he gets dropped on 99% again. Okay, this time around.
Somehow.
This time around, not going to happen.
Somehow a sticky bomb gets like teleported to his feet and instantly kills him, but it didn't happen this time around, and you're gonna be in an equal situation. You're trying to maybe break the stalemate. It looks like Southside might have a plan to go under. They're certainly indecisive whether they want to be in lobby or under. They're got people everywhere. They're, you know, doing a little bit of there, a little bit of there.
Big bomb in.
And oh, is it gonna get anything done though? No, Jamal finds nothing. Does a little bit of damage, but it's not gonna be cleaned up whatsoever. And now they're a player down. Now it's on BAISEUR to try and maybe do a little bit of a counter-sec. They got Nico 3 for 4 already. He's trying to jump up the drop down, and he has managed to, I guess, slip into lobby a little bit, but there's nobody there, and he just falls back down. He's decided, all right, I'm going on the flank again. And, I mean, they've managed to pressure him out of lobby. They're going to make their way into mid now. I suppose it is on BAISEUR to make something happen. They're still down a round. There's a lot of time, but they got to pick up these rounds, and they have Che on the sniper as well. He's going to have to start hitting some shots if he, you know, wants to earn his keep on that class right now, if he wants to show that he's actually worth it to do this play right now, because they're not making any space for him. He won't hit any shots, and then he's just kind of wasting his time.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't take a bunch of space out in the open, you know, where you have a lot of space and a lot of sight lines. And when you have a pick like that, it's very easy to buy the space to make sure that the sniper can get forward, but he's just being picked off so easily right now, being chased down. They do end up just trading him for another scout, which is kind of fine. Oh, they actually get the pop out of Theos. They're going to decide to save his demo man. Nico looks like he's going to get picked off here. He's a bit too far out, but here comes the counter Uber. Theos is really far in. There's no way he's getting out, right? Nope.
Yeah.
Osvaldo just takes him down, barrels into him, and now they want to just save their medic. He's so weak. Not quite going to be able to get him, but man, this is such a back and forth fight.
So much nuking damage onto the combo there. War and Sebastian just both get absolutely destroyed by Jamal there. He's gonna just take them down basically single-handedly. It is all him, all him. Either way, there's so much work there. Just immediately putting Southside back into this fight. They were on the back foot for so long, but they kited the Uber well enough. Nobody really died to it. And just like that, oh well, nobody except Theos, obviously. And just like that, they're actually in a little bit of an ad, and they're gonna push last here as well, which, you know, any time they spent on the opposite team's side of the map is time wasted for them. You know, it's time wasted for BAISEUR, and they have to try and make something happen here. They got to get out of this loss somehow. They got to, you know, pick up some rounds here. Che, pick up a little frag there onto Mankey might help a little bit in at least stunting this upcoming push, but we'll know for how long if they try to go or not.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, I think they're not going to go with a man down in this tiny Ubrad. I think he's probably just going to come back on sniper or something. Yeah. There you go. He probably did it on purpose, just kidding. But it's what I would have done if I wanted to play sniper. Just kind of stand still in the middle of second point, wait to get sniped, and then go sniper yourself. So we're in for a bit of a slow churn right now, as Mankey has already taken a ton of damage, so they know he's on sniper again. Not gonna go for heals, he's just gonna see if he can get a sneaky shot off through lower, but so far no one has wandered into his sightline.
And nobody seems to really want to either. These BAISEUR players are very confident in just staying on last. I mean, it is an ambitious push to try and get out of last. They're gonna lose Che to the sniper duel. He was just a bit too ambitious, nobody backing him up. War is gonna clean up Mankey in retaliation. So at the very, very least, no snipers on the board now for either team.
Demo man super weak. Wow, good arrow there from Theos. Saves Milky. He's nice and healthy now, but he was down to about 3 HP. Nico's gonna jump out, or at least he's gonna try. Get stuck really badly in that choke. Oh man, he tried like 5 times to get out of that, and he just got absolutely juggled every single time. And this is kind of the part of the map that I don't like. You know, it's so hard to get out of these small, enclosed spaces. But okay, Milky has just gone in. They don't even try to save him. Okay, they just get the Uber Force out, and now they're going to retreat. This is actually a pretty good play to get him in there. Just drop your demo man, preserve the Uber, and then wait for him to respawn before you go. As long as you don't get forced here on the counter push, you're golden.
Yeah, that's well, it might be an ambitious use, but if they can get something done with it, it could work very well for them. They found at least 2 players, kind of, but they're not going to be able to chase the crucial pick here in the medic to last, and they still got to deal with a couple players behind as well. War and Samsky just cleaning up the backline right now. Sweeney gets taken down. Samsky's on the point, does a lot of damage, but ultimately gets cleaned up. War in the meantime almost escaping, not quite. Osvaldo, actually Che, my bad, can't quite save his team either, so it turns out they actually still managed to win that scrappy thing. They just focused on target after target, evading any real damage, and just like that, they make it 3-1.
Yeah, it looked kind of dicey because the double scout Uber wasn't doing much, and there were both War and a soldier behind. This is very uncomfortable. They were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place there, and they just barely survived. And that is the power of having like a medic in a fight like that, where you just slowly take things down. So once again, looks like Milky's going to be quite a lot faster, but War dodges the damage this time.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little bit of a slower mid, I suppose. Nobody dies immediately, no high bombs by the soldiers. Nico's going to be the first to try and send himself into the enemy team there. This gets completely destroyed by the scouts. Che taken down as well by Jamal. And suddenly, already, BAISEUR not in a great spot to try and continue this mid. Oz might actually get caught out here as well, just nuked down by Milky. He even taunts, just the pure BM. You love to see it.
That is exactly the most important part about owning someone. You gotta taunt them.
Yeah, it's very important. And now, with your BAISEUR here, you gotta try and somehow salvage this, because it's already looking like a critical round again. I mean, at least you've got your medic. At least you can try to have an Uber exchange on last, but it's not getting all that much done here. And there's an Uber already in from the far side yet again for a south side here. They're gonna get a lot of ground, but not as many frags. Milky kind of caught out, but still alive somehow. Actually, he just lived. Okay, I was about to say, there's no way he lives. Thank you very much, Che, for cleaning that up at the very least. They're gonna lose Nico.
Repush, though.
They've already lost War as well. They've lost Che. It's a back and forth here. Finally, with no heals though. Surely they're not going to continue.
Comes in from the back though, cleans up everybody, including the medic. So that's really what's going to do it. Meg's going to go up on Spy, it looks like. You know, we've seen the Spy backup work before. This time around, though, a lot more predictable. So they're probably going to at least take it into account when they try to push out here in these subsequent pushes. But he's in the corner here. He spotted the medic. Now it's just a matter of, can he find the perfect timing for actually coming in here and getting the stab in.
Yeah, that's going to be critical. I mean, if he can't do that, then his team's going to be on the back foot even more. I mean, a bit of a distraction, maybe a bomb onto the comp here as well could do a lot of work. Maggie gets spotted out. He's not going to be able to do anything. Just easily seen because a player turned around, the player being Samsky in this case. And now, you know, off the back of that, just a little bit more forward momentum here for BAISEUR as well, trying to get something done. Samsky goes in deep, but doesn't really find anybody. Gets overextended, but it is effectively just still a trade for that Spy at the end of the day. Now Jamal gonna try to do the same on his side here, trying to see if he can get anywhere, but he just gets stunted by the scout. Somehow still alive, just barely. Nico's surely gonna clean that up as the Ubers are exchanged in lobby.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a better Uber for Theos actually, and they're gonna clean up Sebastian as soon as his Uber fades. So suddenly, Southside again looking very strong here, headed forward into this post-Uber fight. They have the heals, they have way better positioning as well, even though they are attacking. And they're kind of a bit concerned. They don't really want it. They're not confident enough. I guess they wanted to get that soldier off the board, but that's going to cause Theos to get caught out. Suddenly everybody else dies. It's only Milky who lands a nice pipe, but ultimately he's just caught out completely, gets cleaned up as well. It's only Jamal, and I'm pretty sure he just spawned, yeah, so...
Yeah, not in a position to do anything there. So, Theos, I kind of feel like if they had pulled back there and just played around Theos in a lobby or something, he would have not been forced out, because as it was, a soldier jumped him and he kind of surfed out, and then he just surfed into the enemy team and got picked off, and then it was just a free-for-all fight. And I think it would have been a much better play to just play around the medic in the lobby. You know, abuse the fact that there's a bunch of really tight corridors that are very difficult to power through and get to the medic. But instead, they just kind of man-moded out in the open, and they got punished for it. So I'd like to see them do a bit more here. We do have a spy sneaking in on last.
And he has not been spotted. Nobody's turned around either. He's just waiting for the perfect moment for when Theos is uncalled for. Mankey on the sniper as well on the other side, trying to see if he can be cheeky. Samsky has definitely called that, and they seem to be woefully aware that there could be some sort of little cheeky play here. So he's actually just going to settle for the backstep onto Mankey. Maybe someday, if he can catch up to him. That's why you don't disguise as a slow class. Actually, he was a scout, so somehow he just could not catch up. He could not catch up to Mankey at all. Just gets destroyed instead. Am I watching like professional players, or am I watching like a pup? Like, what's happening?
It was just the classic thing with Spy where, like, it doesn't matter what you do. If you just get unlucky and people move in the exact worst way for you, you can't ever kill anyone. And Mankey just happened to move forward the sniper as oh wow, yeah, that's a nice shot there. One of the big things about these tight corridors is that they can be sticky really easily. Like, everything you'll spot is a sticky trap, but once that factor is removed, you have a lot more opportunity to go for plays. But so far, nobody's gonna do that.
Che counter sniping again as well. Hits a little headshot there, just, you know, pressuring these players back again. You dare push lobby or like peek in the slightest, he's gonna have a word with you. And now they're gonna have to try and break the stalemate again. It's a sniper v sniper. Mankey seemingly having warmed up a little bit to the class now, is certainly hitting shots more than he was previously. And he's very aggressive with that peek there as well. Does live somehow as well. Che's gonna try to do the same for Shutter, but nobody's really opening for him. He's got nobody with him either. He can't really afford to be too aggressive if he's got nobody backing him up. So he's gonna be waiting on that. Or actually just jumps in, takes down the sentry, and that's all he does.
Alright, well, carry it down, I guess. Soda comes in, yeah. Oh, Theos was so close to popping there, I could tell. But Soda goes down just in time for that to not. Oh no, there comes a drop on Sebastian.
There it is.
Disaster. Absolute
there
disaster.
It is. There's the drop we were waiting for. Che, at the very least, wins the duel against Mankey. He's on to last as well, just trying to see whatever he can salvage as the sniper. It would have been quite a funny little play. But as it turns out, that's going to be all she wrote. And now, well, it's going to be on Southside to really clean up these straggling players. They find Oz. Samsky's still in below. He's very healthy, but he's going to have to somehow clear this height difference. And Milky just is going to make quick work of that. He is the pipe guy on this. And yeah, the rest of the players have kind of just decided they're going to run away and give this one up. But now if you're BAISEUR, you've got about 6 minutes left, and you got to pick up at least 2 rounds if you want to take home the map. You know, take it to a golden cap or whatever. Nico is going to try to make something happen. Gets onto Theos a little bit, but not enough damage. And they have an Uber as well for Southside here, so it's going to be looking like really dire for BAISEUR soon. Like, they're going to have to start picking up the pace and picking up rounds, otherwise, you know.
Yeah, they're just going to run out of time. And speaking of time, I have this feeling that we're going to see a whole lot of not pushing coming out from Southside. Like, my guess would be that they're just going to do nothing. They're actually a lot more aggressive than I expected. They're even going to send in Jamal. Now they're going to get pushed on. I feel like they should have just sat back here and waited for everyone else to come into them. But as it is, oh my god, Theos is taking so much damage. Nico is just hitting all the directs in the world right now. Going to push the entire enemy team out. They're going to get Samsky. He does get the force here. Ward probably going to die. Yeah, not going to be able to be saved here. Sebastian, okay, he does find a scout to actually hang out with, but there's a very weird, scrappy fight where a scout has been caught in, and I think midpoint is going to eventually fall out to them. Look at this, they're actually going to end up with an Uber at once all of that has transpired, so exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah, and I mean, Nico also staying alive for so long, just doing a bunch of damage to people behind, you know, like even making them just scared and forcing them to leave, really, if they don't want to handle the smoke here. Now with that full Uber, never mind!
Oh.
Yet another sticky trap that Sebastian just walks into and drops. So, yet again, they're going to be looking at a Theos pick here, potentially. He's already dangerously low, but nobody's really in a position to follow up on it. There's 2 scouts in lobby. Or like kind of forward anyway. They're gonna fight Salty, and they're struggling to kill him as Milky kind of has to like do the job for him and just clean up everybody yet again.
Yeah, this is exactly the worst kind of situation because the one thing they don't have is time, and they're gonna lose so much time right now trying to get onto this second point, getting to Uber out of Theos and making sure that they get all these picks and running behind. Like, it's just going to take a bunch of time, and they have about 4 minutes to get 2 rounds, and that's not a lot. It takes about 1.5 minutes to win a round if you're really, really, really fast. And you're probably not going to succeed in doing that. Nico, trying to be in the skybox, kind of just ends up slipping down there, unable to get in there. Chase going to go down, gets taunted on again, crucially. And this is another clean second take. They're not going to have a very big grad to go in onto last. Samsky is going to come in here from the bottom, not really going for the medic. Going to find the medic anyway. Okay, but eventually just goes down. He kind of wasted all his rocket before that. He was completely unseen.
Yeah, he slipped past, you know, still on the spy class and spirit at the very least, but it's not going to be enough. And as it turns out, Sebastian semi got forced as well. Now there's the counter Uber out of Southside, and they're just going to mince anybody who even dares try and protect this point. Nico tries his best, gets going to Jamal. Samsky's actually in, it does a little bit of work as well, but it's just not enough against the Scout. Ultimately, the heals win out, and that's a 4-1. Now I think we're in a realm of mathematically impossible chances for BAISEUR. They've got to give it up. They can't take home Metalworks anymore.
Yeah, and ironically, Warrior is the reason why the concede plugin does not exist anymore, so he can't even use that. That's tragic. He truly... Yeah.
Unfortunate, really unfortunate. You know, a victim of your own success, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So this is going to be one last mid-fight for the logs. We're going to see who goes huge, who does a great play, and it would have been very promising as we're headed into our decider map afterwards. But as it turns out, it looks to be BAISEUR. I mean, maybe Southside are just taking it easy. Maybe they're just, you know, loving the fact that they've won their map, that they are looking a lot more dominant on. And there's actually a crits out of the side of BAISEUR here. It finds the you know, the medic and now the demo. Those are really the ones you want to look for, and I guess it found the scout as well. So they're still going to be able to pick up a round, but it still won't be enough for the map. Well, I'd say they're going to pick up a round. There's still very much it could go wrong if somehow Sweeney stays alive for too long here. Jamal manages to find like 8 kills on the point, but no, it's not going to happen. There you go.
I mean,
they found
he's
a single
Danish.
round.
He could do it. He could get a 8K. Who knows? But yeah, the Warrior crits coming in hot. Gonna get some good damage and some frags in here and get a round saved for them as well. You know, I assume this is a best of 3.
Yes.
This final. Yeah. So we're gonna go into a finals map here. What do you know what the last map is?
I believe it was process.
Process?
Yes. It is process.
All right. Okay. Good thing we have JMaxchill to tell us everything because you know we don't know anything. All right. There's a mid-fight. Sebastian has died. People have died. Che has not died, but now he has died. So there you go. Theo survives on 10 HP. As predicted.
Just like that, and that's gonna put the nail in the coffin. Even if there was a fledgling chance for BAISEUR to make something happen, try and mount some sort of comeback. Certainly not with that, and it might just actually get sealed with a 5, win limit sort of dealio here for Southside. They're certainly looking to maybe round this out in the time here that they have. Actually, they're being a little bit slow. They've lost Sweeney as well, but they can still try, I suppose. War gets picked off in lobby.
30 seconds.
Yeah, you can try, right? You might as well. It looks a bit better when it's a 5-2 versus a 4-2, and that might be what they're going for. There's a little Uber into last. They're going to jump in, see what they can do. And at this point, BAISEUR basically conceded, let's be honest. There's no chance for them to do much. They're going to try to hold on to this point. And they're actually doing a decent job. They're killing a few people. It's only Sweeney and Theos left, so a surprisingly successful hold. Probably the first time they've managed to do one of those on this map.
Yeah, too bad they did it when it didn't matter. So, very different game coming out of it. It just looked like there was a lot of punishing happening. Whenever I saw like a lot of mid fights where it would just be like Nico jumping in, he just got swallowed up by 2 scouts and a soldier or something, and then his team was just down a player, and then everyone kind of retreated. And it's just been looking a lot more disjointed on this map coming out from Moore's team. So hey, maybe it is the whole being too cocky factor coming into it. Maybe they need to just really tighten up here and make sure that they don't fall victim to their own sloppiness.
or have process be another Gullywash for them. You know, maybe for some reason they're
Mm.
just also really good at process. Either way, let's quickly look at some logs, I suppose, and you know, see which team objectively did better. You know, disregarding the score or whatever, it's all about the damage. And I mean, I was saying it during the round, but Milky, he's a damage dealer. He
Yeah,
does damage.
yeah, absolute monster. And then obviously Jamal, you know, being Danish, is also carrying. I mostly know him for carrying in Danish pugs or mixes. Uh, it's good to see him doing well in this game as well. And then Che actually doing some absolute work. Kind of, I feel almost like it's his sniper that's giving him all this damage. He was actually
Possibly,
hitting
yeah.
quite a lot, yeah. So that's definitely worth keeping in mind that they have a really good sniper. He got a lot of nice little picks that just kind of turned the tide of a fight. He didn't get too many like medic picks or whatever, but like the few picks that he did get were really nice. And then I think another stat to really look at is War, who has decent damage, right? But he has a lot of deaths. And he
Yeah.
doesn't have a lot of kills, which kind of tells me that he's playing too much on his own. So he's probably doing like 120 to a scout, and then he doesn't have a scout body near him to just clean him up. So and then he's end up dying because he's overextended, right? So you know, usually the demo man, when this is the case, it's just because the scouts are eating all your kills, but they're not really doing that, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it shows overall, right? They're not really getting any of the kills at all. They're just not cleaning it up whatsoever. Not to mention, you know, I think it's also worth mentioning, much rather, the medic difference as well. Sebastian, yet again, he did drop twice again during the map. You know, like Theos just overall has been more solid in his play. He's done less sloppy mistakes on medic. You know, Sebastian, a little bit of a shaky foundation. He just drops a little bit too often. He dies a little bit too often in like bad positions, and I think ultimately that probably didn't help when it comes to losing the map.
Yeah,
I would argue.
I kind of feel like the play of the game for me is Theo's play where he picked up the medigun right after the Uber.
Yeah.
Like he popped the Uber to get the enemy medic at 99%, and then he just immediately picked up the medigun for a full Uber in onto last. Like that's disgusting play, and yeah, just gotta take your hats off to that. You gotta really have some presence of mind to know this. And
I feel like
I
that first round, like set the precedent for the rest of Metalworks. Really, like that
yeah,
dominant first experience there, where they just roll on mid, kill Sebastian when he's like at 99%, and then Theos picks up the medigun instantly, and then they have another Uber. It's just absurd, man.
yeah. This is one of those things where the bust is just really, really powerful because you can see exactly what the enemy medic's percentage is at, right? So you can make those kind of decisions really easily, or a lot more easily at least. So it's one of those rare situations where you can see like a really tangible example of how that unlock is extremely good. And I honestly think it's way better than the Uber Saw. It's just that Uber Saw is so much fun to use that a lot of people are still holding on to it, myself included. But
Hmm.
if we're being real, I think the passive buff or the passive ability is just so much better to have in general. Like if you can have a passive effect, you almost always want to pick that over an active effect. That's just a
Yeah.
good rule of thumb, right? Like a shotgun is really good, but if you can just have every single jump do less damage, that's just more powerful because it's just something that happens all the time and you don't really need to do anything to use it. Like you don't have to have good shotgun aim.
Not to mention that for the case of medic as well, right? Like how often per game do you find yourself in a situation where you have to melee somebody as medic, or like where you're in a
Yeah,
melee range fight? Like it happens at most once per map, right? If you're lucky, it happens once per
yeah.
map.
And it's not
Because like
even that.
you get mulched, like you get mulched by any other class that's close to you. And yeah, as you said, it's not even land, so like hit rate is gonna be even worse if you're online.
Yeah, and it's not even just like the melee fight thing. It's also like it has to be a situation where the Uber advantage or the Uber percentage matters, right?
Yeah,
Because if it's just someone's close to you and you need to do 65 damage to kill him, it doesn't matter what unlock you're using. They all do 65 damage. It has to be a situation where you need that extra 25% so that you can pop Uber faster and win the round that way, right? Like that has to be the case, and that's way more niche. It's just really awesome. So
Not to mention, what if you are in a bad situation, you get the Uber saw on somebody, but you didn't have 75%, so you're not even going to get your full Uber. You need to get another hit if you want to live. And at
Yeah.
that point, if they let you get one hit, what are the chances they're going to let you get a second one?
Yeah, I do find that like very often I'll just use the Uber saw because it's less stressful. Because when you're using the head,
You don't have to think.
yeah, like you should really be calling out people's like hit points and the medic percentages and like all sorts of really important stuff. You need to like scan everything all the time, and it's just way more relaxing to just like heal people and chill out, So it takes a lot of like brain capacity to actually use properly. And you need to make sure that your calling is really good, because it's also a skill to know when not to call things. Because people don't need to know that a soldier has 213 health and now it's degraded down to 212. Like, it's fine. They don't need to know everything. You just clutter in comms.
It's really important, though. I mean, like somebody's got to follow up on that health, on that overheal decay, man. You never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're gonna have to put a prediction on this final map of Process, right? From what we've seen, both teams have been dominant on one map, and then vice versa, pretty much got rolled on the other. Who's taking Process? And
Gonna do the hottest of hot takes and say Sebastian is gonna drop 0 Ubers, and they're gonna really pull their shit together, and they're gonna win. Like, War's team's gonna win 5-3.
Okay, ambitious play. Let's see if that comes to turn, as the rollout is happening, and Che has opted to snipe for the first mid. Quite the interesting play. Clearly, there's some strategy at play here.
Sweeney's behind now.
Very confident in his sniping ability. Sweeney's already slipped into IT, and it's just kind of like waiting for maybe the other team to move forward as they drop War. Pretty much because nobody's there to back him up, and there's a soldier bumped into the choke as well. Milky. Actually, it was Milky, never mind.
Oh, Nico gets the
He's getting cleaned up. Oh man, that's gonna be huge here. If they can keep Sebastian alive, who's kind of disconnected and only has Samsky and Che to keep him, company right now, he certainly has a good chance of taking home this Uber advantage as well. And so far, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of people going all around. Salty slipped in behind. He's in lobby. Che is gonna meet him, and he's gonna get cleaned up as well. There's Mankey to help him out as well. Mankey gets cleaned up. There's Salty, gets cleaned up as well. There's still a lot of aggression by other players like Jamal, but he's gonna back out eventually. So finally, just finally, they managed to somehow secure this mid-fight win, I guess?
Yeah, that was such a terrible mid. Like, if they didn't have Nico get in there and get Theo's going in against 2 scouts and still somehow like threading the needle and getting the medic kill, that would have just been a disaster for mid. As soon as Sweeney went behind, because of the sniper, they couldn't really deal with him, so they backed off really far, and they had 0 presence on mid. It was barely even a mid fight. They were just out of the mid before it even started. But because they got the medic, they could just play around their own medic and slowly gain the advantage. They're gonna push in here with a 10% Uber ad. Will it be enough though, Surny?
It's gonna be tough because they're not even actually using it. They're just looking to see how long they can milk it. They're gonna be able to use first eventually, just because Sebastian goes so dangerously low. So obviously, it's a way better Uber for Theos. They probably weren't even expecting it to come up this quickly, but they've not yet dropped a single player. They've got 2 players in Panic Room. They're gonna be fighting on either, and War just kind of gets juggled out. Can't really do much by himself. The rest of the team is there to back him up, though. Nico actually finds a kill as well. So they're gonna be going back and forth. They've got 2 picks on either side. Salty getting taken down is pretty huge as well, because the heavy is out of the play. Theos is so low as well, he can't really heal anybody, he just has to arrow people. But there's just not enough follow-up on the damage. It's just Oz and Sebastian left. At the very least, I suppose, the medic lived, but it's not a successful push. And there's already Southside Gamers trying to take second here. They're not going to give it up without a fight, though. BAISEUR still in as well, seeing what they can do. War very far forward yet again, as he tends to be.
Yeah.
Very disconnected from his team. Somehow lives this time, though. Sam's going to be the first to fall in this re-aggression, but they're not going to give the second up without a fight, man. They're still going for it. They're still seeing what they can do.
Spawns, but they are just losing players left, right, and center.
Oh my god.
Was that a sniper sticky or just a trap that was set up in advance?
No. He just went flying through choke, and Milky just flicks stickies just in the air, deads him. Beautifully done, just catching that out as well. And finally, it looks like Southside have found some stable footing here. They're going to be moving forward now. They have a little bit of an ad, but Sebastian has lived, and he's probably going to get his Uber sooner rather than later. And I think it might have been paused. Yes, indeed. Okay.
No, it's actually just how slow European Team Fortress 2 is.
Right.
Yeah. That's a true fact. So, you know, if you haven't done so already, now's the time to open up the second stream and open up the RGL finals and watch those, right?
Oh,
All right,
that was a short pause. Never mind.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
mercifully short.
I can't possibly imagine what happened there. That must have been like a really short like lag spike for somebody, and they were like, "Now we gotta pause." Anyway, we'll know in like like a minute or whatever when we catch up. Maybe somebody did crash. Either way, as it goes on, War again caught forward. Is gonna trade out for Jamal effectively. So obviously that's a huge pick here for Southside. They're gonna keep rolling forward as well. Both makes have their Ubers, and they're gonna keep trading players back and forth, but it's just so much better already for Southside. They get so much good position to get the early force out of Sebastian. Ethios finally responds with his own Uber. Flashes a lot just because he can. He knows his Uber is so much better, and just with the pressure alone, they're going to get these BAISEUR players back.
But they want to fight it again?
Are so aggressive. They want to keep fighting. Even if their players down, even if positions aren't great, they just keep coming out here. And it is working okay for them so far. They found both scouts, and they've caught out Theos as well. He was at least alone for a while. Now War is just in deep. He wants this kill so bad. He can't do it though. Finally, Nico is gonna try to follow up as well. He can't do it. It's just everybody suiciding into the combo. And finally, with so much damage dealt, they find the kills as well.
Unrelenting aggression coming out from War's team. Led by War himself, but Mankey gets the critical headshot. Sebastian has gone down. He needs some time to recollect himself. This is where the pause happened. Like, you just need to shake it off, I guess. Because, man, that is rough. That was another big advantage out the window. Sebastian having a rough finals, and it's just going to continue. And now the Reaper's going to come out here. War again holding super far forward, takes down Jamal, but it ended up being a trade, and that's a pretty good damn trade coming out here from Southside. And just slowly getting enough kills that everyone's just going to have to back off here, I think.
Yeah, whittle these players away. Samsky gets taken down as well, and even, you know, without the positioning, they don't have to fear so much damage because the soldier and a demo down means there's no splash. They don't have to worry about bunching up and just, you know, staying together, putting meat in front of the vulnerable players, making sure they're going to get chipped down, and there you go. They just retake second off the back of it. It's a bit of a better Uber situation right now as well for Theos. Not much to write home about, but 20% is 20%. So it could very well lead them into this mid, and Sebastian is building so slowly that they're actually going to get this Uber before they even ever get close on the other side.
Soldier jumps in, gets
still
the
in?
Oh,
okay, yeah, Samsky gets the force. Nico was in as well to back him up a little bit, manages to escape, so a beautiful force. Nicely done.
Yeah, I think it's just a sign of respect there from Theos that he decided to actually pop that. You know, Samsky did have to hit an upwards rocket to actually get the kill off there, but I guess he trusted him. Uber has been popped in a choke. Two soldiers in the hindlines there, just doing their best to get it off. Okay, eventually does get taken down. There's still a second soldier in there. Looks like he's going to get ready to move forward. Meanwhile, a second soldier's gone in. Nice job there to get Sebastian in super far. Somehow survives them. Never mind.
Dies to a roller. He just like walks into one. The roller slips in.
They're so overpowered, you can't run away from them.
The stock rollers, man, they keep going. It's not the Iron Bomber anymore. And he just, like, it slips in behind him, and he just can't run away from it. That's all it takes. And Mankey gets taken down by War here, but he's gonna be the only one to even make an effort. Everybody else is kind of just spawning or off somewhere else, and that's gonna be the first round going the way of Southside Gaming.
Yeah, they're gonna continue to do this, Surny. It looked really bad on the first map, but they've just shown themselves really capable of just punishing this aggression that's coming out here from War's team. And just slowly, they're just edging their way back in here. One looking gonna be about equally fast, but looking get jumped immediately. Does some nice surfing there. Nico's gonna go down immediately. So that's a very big advantage coming out here from Southside immediately.
Yeah, and they've got Sweeney in behind as well, completely uncontested. He's gonna make his way through choke now and just try to bomb in, see if he can find anybody else. Just gets mulched by the scouts instead, but War was out of the fight for so long. He actually gets overextend killed again. Somehow Theos died throughout all of that. I didn't even pay attention to that part. I guess, you know, somebody did slip in and get that kill at the very least. So
no, that's not even what happened. It was a soldier got onto him.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then the scout just pelted him down from like a long range. It was kind of sad.
Well, it worked out in their favor, but it actually turns out BAISEUR can win the mid off of it in the end. But are they going to be able to continue rolling this forward? Because the longer they wait, the more that Uber is going to dwindle. And consistently, throughout all these maps, Theos has been building like at least 25% faster than Sebastian has in any situation. So this Uber ad is going to dwindle very fast. And they're going to have to make a play into last ASAP, because Theos is already up on 65% now. He might actually get it before BAISEUR can even decide whether they which door they want to push out of here.
Yeah,
if they're gonna take so long.
Really taking their time. If they had just left a scout on the point to cap and then moved immediately, okay, they're gonna send in War. No Uber or anything. He's just in on the right side, just on his own. Theos has indeed gotten Uber. They've taken down the sentry gun, but Nico has been taken down. Scout's gonna try and pressure the point, but this is very odd. Are they just trying to get the Uber force in? I don't know. Nice pipe there from Milk is going to catch out Oz again. This is a weird play here, Surny. It went from an Uber ad into a three-man sack, I guess, kind of deal thing. That was odd.
And yeah, I don't really know what the play there was. Honestly, I would not be able to tell you. Now they're going to find themselves in a very bad situation trying to take an Uber exchange here, and they're going to force it off early through choke. Obviously, no aggression really at all onto Southside's combo there.
Behind?
There's a Samsky soldier in behind. He gets a rocket, and then Nico tries to follow up, but he can't get any damage done either. Can't even get a kill. Jamal just barely lives. So it's just all coming crumbling down. The foundation is just disintegrating below the feet of BAISEUR here. They're gonna have to try and somehow hold mid, maybe get a force off now if they can, but no, that's not gonna happen. I don't
Literally
really
everyone
know.
had left. He just he could have run out. He just stayed there. It's just weird play, man. It feels like the throwing of it.
Maybe it's a war team, so you know, you did say it yourself. It could kind of be like something that happens quite frequently.
Maybe Chase was like, when he said, "Where's the door at?" So maybe he was just like backpedaling into a wall. He's just like super high.
Lacking map knowledge is the thing to blame here, clearly. Anyway, there's a new fight on second. Both medics have an Uber, and actually gonna get forced out of Theos first, so it's gonna be a bit worse for Southside. Finally, Mankey somehow manages to get the force out of Sebastian as well, and they're gonna have a way better Uber for BAISEUR, but are they gonna be able to do anything? No, they're not gonna be able to do anything with it. They've already lost both of their soldiers. They lost War as well as the Uber fades. They find Theos. Finally, in the end, Shay just runs in, W's into the medic, but they've lost everybody else for it.
Yeah, Sebastian, he's just running. It looks like he is going to be able to get back to last there, so that's a good job by him. But second point's definitely going to fall. It's just a matter of can they actually recap it again here without taking too many losses. You know, you're down 1-0. This is a big opportunity. You want to push out before any heals can really come through. They're in choke now, but they're so far back that if you can just get in there before they get good positioning, you're good to go. Jamal's going to jump in. Immediately gets absolutely chewed out through midair by both scouts, and they do end up having this really nice push out where they lose absolutely nothing. They still have the Uber ad. Don't think they might go through a shutter door? No, that's just a soldier, never mind. They're going to go through choke, and they're going to get mid for free as well, so they're really leveraging this Uber advantage to get a ton of spin.
Of Nico with a very weirdly placed sticky trap. Nobody would expect it to be there, and that's exactly why it worked, as the Uber comes in through choke and finds absolutely nobody. And now there's a counter Uber out of Theos, and obviously they're gonna have to run for their lives. Sebastian just completely disconnected from the rest of his team. He's gonna pay with his life, and he's gonna actually be one of the first to go down, together with War and Shay. Now there's only 3 players left for the side of BAISEUR. They found the soldiers, I suppose, but they're gonna have to deal with the rest of this team, and they're so disconnected, they have no heals. If Southside plays right and just keep Theos safe, which could be tough because Nico is in. Ah, nope. Nice surf by Theos is all it takes. And now, surely if they keep Samsky at bay here as well, there's nothing to fear. There you go.
Yeah, I was out of actual scattergun bullets there, so that's very unfortunate. That makes a scout a lot less dangerous when they don't actually have a shotgun. So he couldn't even really participate in that fight. Sometimes you can actually chip shot too much. Usually it doesn't really matter in scout. But there you go, one of the rare examples of where it was a really big deal that they could run out of ammo. There's a small sticky trap on the corner there that has been picked out. So, alright, okay, they're gonna jump in very aggressively.
And they want to use that Uber somehow, despite using later. You know, Theos gets the Uber first. Again, he just builds so much faster than Sebastian. As it turns out, they didn't get much with it, though. They find a single soldier, trade him out for Mankey effectively. The counter Uber obviously now comes out of BAISEUR, but again, they're also not getting that much ground with it. Very good kiting by Southside, just going to force them, well, you know, force them into mid, but that's all they really did. They didn't cap off second at the end of the day anyway, and now they're going to send in Samsky deep, and he's not going to get to land on anybody. Surely, just as they're retreating here, there's got to be some sort of counter-aggression. They're going to send Sweeney onto the combo, gets a rocket onto Sebastian, but that's about it. They're so globbed up, they're just wanting to make something happen here to the south side, and that's a nuke down onto Theos. Some coordinated aggression. Finally, he gets taken care of. No healing, even if they lost Sebastian on the other side. Surely they can just wipe here. Milky gets taken care of as well. They should be able to cap mid here, and
yeah,
maybe
they're
at least
going to
finally roll
spawn
forward.
cam a bit, it looks like. Maybe that's what Samsky was going for. Didn't quite have the help for it, but now, once the demo man arrives, this is going to be a locked out spawn. Very clean cap here. Sebastian gonna spawn a little bit later than Theos, but it is effectively even Uber, unless there's like a crit screen. If not, all right. So that was just medics being banished from the game for about 20 seconds there, and this is kind of what it devolved into. Just a nice push in on the second here from War's team. They're gonna be able to build things up. Mankey's on Spy, still in spawn, so not really. They're just gonna move in right now. We've seen some weird things, and this might be a thing that could actually work out for them because Milky is weak.
You see these like extremely like deep aggressive bombs in by War just all by himself. He tries to take some ground, can't quite get the damage he needs to do. It's the best. It doesn't even matter. I was gonna like go on this tirade, you know, oh yeah, like here's what's happening. Nobody stepped on the frickin' point. They just let Samsky walk on the point and round out the cap just like that. All right.
Yeah, he just jumped in, didn't head for anybody, just capped out the point. Nice little presence of mind there.
Turns out there's an objective in this game, and if you play it, you win.
Yeah, that's, I don't know if I believe that. I don't think that's a thing in Div 2. But either way, the double soldier bomb in here, like very aggressively taking their own little box there. It doesn't really do a whole lot, and now the aggression comes in and everyone's just packed into this corner.
Oh boy, they're mulching them. Like, yeah, obviously this player is falling both sides, but it is certainly looking better for BAISEUR, now with the heals off the table as well. If they keep Sebastian safe, which they're doing an okay job at right now, they certainly don't have to worry about much more in this fight. It's only Mankey left, and while he can be a little bit of an annoying mosquito, he is caught in behind, and as long as they're aware of him, surely there won't be much of a problem. Samsky might even meet him, might even have to fight him. And he's, well, does he find him? Is he gonna kill him as well? He's got a second soldier to help him out. Okay, that guy's been dealt with. They can keep moving forward. They're on second already. Nobody from Southside even really wants to contest it either. They're just chilling on last.
Yeah, they're just trying to get up the sentry gun, maybe set up some sneaky, stinky traps, get some other off classes in here if they can really do so. But it looks like it's just gonna be a one push. Very aggressively popped in here. Nobody's really close at all. Medic's gonna be in spawn, but if they can clear off the point and put some scouts on it, this could be very dangerous. They try to do that. They've actually gotten a couple of kills going out here for it. If they just commit here into it, this could very well work out. Scouts on the point, it's gonna be just enough to make it work. And there you go, War's dropping binds. They're ahead 2-1. It was looking kind of dire for them. They had lost, I don't know how many rounds in a row, seemingly. But BAISEUR slowly clawing their way back, and all of a sudden their weird plays are beginning to work out for them.
Yeah, I guess they have, you know, the higher stamina. They managed to stay into this for the long run, and finally they're finding some stable footing again, finding those rounds that they desperately need to. Now with halfway down the map, you know, a 2-1 lead, it ain't much, but it's certainly a little bit that you can work with if you can continue just playing more solidly as this next mid fight goes out of the way and nobody's died yet. Both teams playing quite solidly. Nobody dying. Oz finally gets taken down. There goes Samsky as well. War finds Theos on the other side though, so if they can keep Sebastian alive somehow, which is going to be looking very dire because he's already dead. Nico and Che also get taken care of, so a very solid mid there out of Southside, even if they lost their own medic.
Yeah, it was one of those weird mids where both teams basically rotate around each other until they're occupying each other's side, so they're just completely committed. I feel like if this had been a normal mid where, you know, you were in the same situation but they hadn't switched position, they would have just retreated, but obviously you can't do that. So it's pretty cool to see when you have them going like that. Milky has some sneaky traps set up here. You can see he's just slowly trying to find his way in here, but Che again just getting those nice little picks with the sniper. Again, not getting like the big medic picks, but it doesn't really matter because he's just contributing so much damage and picks and kills to his team on the sniper that it's definitely been worth it.
He's doing his thing. At the end of the day, sniper's a pick class, and if you get any sort of pick, you're already contributing. You're already doing something right, and he's doing something right by just getting any sort of kill. He's gonna have to continue rolling this though. Salty is gonna opt to counter snipe as well after he's been humbled on scout. I suppose he's gonna opt for that. You know, it's their game to win. They're still down around on the side of Southside. They have to make something happen here. They have mid under control. They have to try and make their way into this. Sebastian just not getting up on his Uber, so if they had known how much of an Uber ad they had maybe on the side of Southside, they could have worked with that as well, but I guess against the sniper, that's scary. You don't want to necessarily risk it. You don't want to, you know, throw something away that could be a sure thing, so they're going to rotate out into sewer here. Go somewhere where the sniper ain't as much of a problem, ain't something that you have to worry about as much potentially. Immediately realize that it's a bad idea and back out again as Swinny gets headshot as well. This is going to be down to the sniper duel.
He was like
it's going to be down to that duel.
That's plenty, right? Like that should be just super fast.
It's a resource health at the end of the day, right? Anything above 1 is just superfluous.
Yeah. Yeah,
just don't get hit.
Oh, it looks like they're going to try and take the lobby here or the sewer area. But they're just going to go out again, rotate around. Sniper hasn't really made much of a play so far. Salty has been very passive, but Nico's actually going to go down here, trying to contest it in here, and Milky has been headshot. That's a really nice headshot from Jay because that's going to really slow down this aggression. It's about to come in, and actually just going to be a single soldier, and he just wants the sniper. Get out of here, you stupid class. Oh my god, Milky just pops in there, pipes down the medic. That's a drop. Again, Sebastian, man, he needs to invest in, I don't know, like a higher frame rate, update rate or something that's dropping so much.
Better reaction time, like upload a patch to his brain or something like that, because he's not popping when he needs to. Milky almost just caps the last point all by himself. Mankey's there to try and back him up a little bit, but ultimately gets chased out by the scouts as well, and they somehow just barely hang on for the time being for the side of BAISEUR. And with everybody, you know, not really contesting second here either. I mean, Jamal looking to maybe, but he decides, do I want to go, do I not? And I'm just going to wait and choke for my team, and then we're going to go together, which is obviously the better choice. So they lose second at the end of it, but there's so much aggression into the combo. Immediately, Sebastian just gets mulched by a carpet bomb of 3 classes. They lose both soldiers for it, but Milky is still in. Never mind, he's dead as well. But they find Theos. There you go. Jay just slips in behind. He finds Theos. Now he's going to fight both scouts, which is going to be tough, but he lives for now. Finally gets taken down. It's now these 2 Southside scouts, make it 1, that have to try and make something happen. Salty is in. He's trying to find Nico. Gets cleaned up by Oz. Finally, War is just in on mid, all by himself. This man just has his own adventures. He does whatever he wants.
Yeah. He's just gonna stand there and say, come at me, bro. Come at me. Jump me. Why don't you? You know you want to. And Milky's also gonna get in here, but he does have some help from his team and the medic as well. War again, just playing front line, but slowly but surely, this is going the way of War's team, and the cleanup is real. Samsky's going to jump in behind. I think he's going to be in danger here of catching the medic. Not quite. And even with the help of War, it's not going to be quite good enough. And, you know, you can't complain that War's team aren't being aggressive.
Yeah, they're certainly trying. I mean, it's been working for them okay so far, even if it means that Sebastian, he gets to drop again. He's the only medic that has dropped this entire best of 3 so far, and he's done it a total of like 5 times or 6 times by now.
6.
So
yeah.
He's anybody's keeping count, you know. Most drops in a single match, perhaps. Either way, he's still somehow keeping his team alive. He's still somehow, you know, doing his best. They've both got Ubers, these medics, and it's gonna be in the court of yet again Southside to make something happen. They have to push out at a second somehow because they're down around. They have to make something happen. It's starting to get into the single digits of time. You know, we're below the 8-minute mark now. They're gonna start to feel the burn just ever so slightly. It's getting a little hotter. They have to make something happen here. At least pick up a single round if you still want to have a chance of winning grand finals.
Yeah, we're not quite at the point yet where a round reset is bad for them. Like if they just wait out 3.5 minutes as the soldier jumps in, not going to be able to get much here. Samsky, you tried, or Jamal rather. It's pretty good, but you know, the round reset is still completely fine for them, but once that has happened, you begin to get into this territory of where, like, now you can really start playing the clock. And as it is right now, it's just going to be more pressure. What did you expect? Milky with this trap. Nico just jumps right into it and destroys Samsky as well. Just pops him into his loving arms.
I'm starting to like notice a trend with Czech demo men. Like, are they putting something in the tap water over there? There's something going on with those guys, man. As the Uber exchange happens as well, it's you know, a bit of a better Uber for Sebastian, but he's got absolutely nobody to heal on. He only had Oz for the longest time, and he's gonna have to drop him to get out. Milky bombs in deep as well. Can't quite hit the pipes he wants to, but Sebastian, he just gets nuked down by a soldier instead. Jamal with the follow-up there. They drop everybody else out of their team. Milky is still in, gets nuked down by War. But Samsky gets cleaned up on the other side. Theo is just surfing so well. He's out. He's trying to keep Sweeney alive here as best he can and does actually hit the arrows as well. Finally, Nico is there to follow up. Surely he's going to get this kill. Theo still being very slippery.
So
still
good.
Alive. Okay, finally. Finally.
That was nuts. Like, Theus did eventually die, but he survived way longer than he should have. Makey gets a nice kill onto War. Probably didn't deserve that one. That was just some scout classing, really. But Sebastian, again, gonna end up with an Uber ad at the end of this whole chaos, but it is some real chaos here going on. And this is soldiering again for some reason. Samsky's just having some fun, jumping around, making people absolutely terrified of him. But oh well, things are gonna calm down, but Sebastian, he is building his Uber. Just a matter of where they're gonna. He's standing so still. I don't get it. This is a thing that he does, and then he just immediately dies. What a bomb in there from Jamal. Just punish. It's like Sebastian was like standing still. Yeah, it was so weird.
He's getting smitten down for his insolence of even daring to have an enemy soldier bomb him and then immediately paying the price. Just like that. Now Theo's obviously going to have a big ad. He's going to have to protect himself from these soldiers, but his scouts are doing a great job at that, making sure that these bombs get denied before they even bloom into anything else. Samsky Chase still on the flank there, war bombing in as well, just trying to do some damage. Samsky can't get anything done. Shay manages to find Mankey at the very least before, well, not quite dying yet, but not finding himself in a great situation as the Uber gets forced out of Theos. Oh, actually, yeah. He's gonna just try to find Jamal for it. He's gonna lose that 1v1. But just off the Uber force and Sebastian, he's still being alive, being able to keep his team alive here. Could be quite a bit of ground taken for BAISEUR as Milky, and Theos just slip in behind through IT. Milky trying to go deep, and the round reset is actually going to be upon us. Without either team really parking the bus, it's kind of just because nobody's been able to cap a point for a while.
Yeah.
Milky's still alive, nukes down Che, is on the combo now. How is this man still alive? Finally, he gets cleaned up. My God.
Yeah, this is just pure chaos with everyone plus forwarding. What is an S key? I think it's not installed. And actually, they're going to get the second cap, so no round reset at all for us. There you go.
Wow. Finally, they just wanted to drag it out for as long as they possibly could, just to put some maybe pressure on it, have some sort of pop push going on there. And they're actually going to try to take this into last. I mean, they have a full Uber. Surely, even if they want to take their time here, BAISEUR, they have a great opportunity to try and round another time, get some more padding for themselves here as well. Maybe even put the final nail with 3 minutes left. You know, it's going to be on Southside to make something happen, to not just hold this point, but also go coast to coast afterwards. It's all on them. The Uber has come in. It has faded. Not much has been found. They lose War immediately, but they find 2 players on the other side. There's still a heavy up, though. Salty doing so much damage. Nico just barely evading him. Finally gets taken down as well. It's 3 on each side, but the heavy on the defense is doing so much work. And it's only Che left.
Oh, sad. War jumped in, just completely beefed down Theos. Theos just ran in circles left, right, ADing, and actually survived that with War just standing right next to him trying to pipe him. So great job by Theos. Once again, they're going to be able to hold this, and this is important because if you go down 2 rounds with like 3 minutes to go, it's basically over. And Samsky, he's going to be sniper here because he knows there's a push coming out here, but he is being chased out of there. And this is a nice little push out. Theos with the small Ubrad, not going to do much. Sebastian did a good job of staying alive on that last push. And now it's just a matter of, like, we're going to have to see a push here. Like, Surny, there's just no way they can play this slow.
They have to do push after push as well. They're going to lose Jamal immediately, but they just have to keep rolling forward. The Uber comes out as well. Obviously, it's going to be better for the side of BAISEUR. They lose Nico, but Is it gonna be a big deal? I don't know. Sebastian hasn't even had to use it. He hasn't dropped anybody else. It's still like equal numbers, and now they have a full Uber to try and retake this point and just, you know, push out these players, and they're dropping them like flies. It's only Mankey and Milky, the dynamic duo. Mankey gets taken care of. Milky is already run away. And it's just looking worse and worse for Southside. They still have a chance, but they have to just roll this entire round forward and keep going and going and going. With Fields just now not even spawning yet, they're going to be looking at such a bad situation here again. Not only do they have to hold this last again, they have to also roll forward afterwards. And it's just so crucial if they manage to do that. Like, it's so tough. It's such a hard situation.
Yeah, once Sebastian gets his Uber, it's going to be even harder to do anything. But hey, it looks like they're going to take down Nico. Oh, never mind. I thought they were going to have that, but Jamal just unable to get that kill in. Another nice snipe here from Zemski. Might be able to turn things around. Point is going to eventually cut out here for them, but Theos goes down. Zemski gets the pick he was looking for. Milky is just way out of position right now. It's going to be very difficult for him to actually survive, but he's just going to try and see if he can single-handedly defend this point from a scout, a medic, and a sniper.
He's a DM lord, but at the end of the day, maybe that's a bit too much. He bit off a bit too much that he could, like, more than he could chew. And I think that's gonna put the nail in the coffin with 50 seconds left. The second capped up again for BAISEUR. There's a mathematical chance that somehow Southside could get this round, but it's gonna be so tough. They have to go through this Uber first as well, which is just killing your medic yet again. And you've just got Milky left now, who's, you know, doing his best to stay alive and, like, kill people or whatever, but he's not going to be able to hold off an entire team. And they're actually going to round out another round just to put the nail in the coffin. Just like that. Your Div 2 champions are going to be AM BAISEUR.
Big congrats. It was not pretty. It was a really back and forth game, but hey, this is probably the best finals we've had this year, right? Like, we'll see if RGL lives up to the hype, but so far, out of all the seasons I've seen of OzFortress and ETF2L, this has been the best one so far in the season. So really fun game, really like two different play styles and just a lot of aggression, maybe a bit of throwing and trolling in here as well. It kind of felt that way sometimes with some of these pushes, but hey, that just makes it more interesting for us.
And both teams showing that they both have a map they're great at and also not that great at, and then that they're both pretty solid on process. At the end of the day, turns out AM BAISEUR just slightly more solid, but you can tell from the stats as well that this was a much more evenly matched game.
Yeah, like if you look at the damage, it's basically identical. There's like 100 damage difference between them, and the kills are extremely even as well. So, you know, even the fact that Sebastian dropped once didn't really matter that much. But yeah, 6, not that we're counting, is what he ended on. So,
across 3 maps, honestly, that's quite impressive.
yeah.
Especially when you consider that they still won the series, you know? Like, clearly, just imagine how much of a role it would have been if Sebastian never dropped at all.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's just charging up. It's a shame there's not a 4th map, right? Because you start out with 3, then 2, then 1. Nah, next one's 0.
They'll have a flawless map someday, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he has anything else you want to glean from the stats, I don't think there is. I think that's just like all there is to it, you know? Congratulations to War Team. You've won Div 2. Hooray. I guess.
Congratulations. It's you get to go up into Div 1 and play with the big boys.
If the team doesn't fold, let's be honest.
Yeah, there's like a 90% chance that the team folds or changes so significantly that it's not the same team anymore. But hey, you earned your way into Prem. Like, but yeah, you can just pull a Lego and like fold and then sign up really late so that you don't get moved up anyway or something.
Is there some like sort of weird strategy there and just keep going in the same div over and over again?
Yeah, that's a
but like, you know, they'll figure that out like after LAN. I'm sure like some of these gamers are coming to LAN. You know, that's like in a couple of weeks now. We're getting close, man. It's the month of Insomnia 69. It's coming up. Now that this season is over, you got no excuses if you're going and if you're playing to not have fun there, I suppose. You know, you've done all your practice in the ETF2L season. Now you're gonna have to show it off offline.
Yeah, And with that, I think we're just going to end it off here. There's an RGL final that you should definitely watch. Looks like a G6 is ahead on a map. Or maybe that's just what they're given by default. But they're also ahead on the second map as well. So, yeah, it's going to be close. Watching Froyo actually struggle for once is really nice. Good fun. Good times. Go watch that. And obviously laugh at Benny if he gets second. This is what everyone just takes this childlike glee out of watching him struggle because he's been winning for so long. It's
any crack in the armor is always something to see for certain. But yeah, that's gonna be it from us.
We can kill it.
Exactly. Anyway, that's gonna be it from us. We'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.